Some places have remained hidden for millions of years, waiting for the rare moment when the Earth itself decides to reveal them to humanity. A canyon once concealed beneath a river. A village slowly disappearing into the ground. A cave where the light comes from below. None of these places should even exist. And by the time this journey comes to an end, you may realize that our planet still holds far more mysteries than humanity has ever discovered. From above, the Uvac does not look like a river searching for the sea. It repeatedly changes direction, winding through limestone canyons as deep as 1,150 feet, as though the landscape itself is still being quietly written by nature. Along a stretch of just 17 miles, the Uvac forms a series of such dramatic bends that every aerial viewpoint reveals an entirely different shape. Rather than cutting straight across the plateau, the river has patiently carved through ancient limestone over millions of years, creating one of Europe's most distinctive meander systems. Few people realize that the beauty above ground is only part of the story. Beneath the white cliffs lies a network of caves that has been developing for roughly 250 million years. Preserving the geological history of the Balkans long before the first dinosaurs appeared. High above the canyon, griffon vultures, with wingspans approaching 10 feet, quietly ride the rising warm air currents, soaring for hours with hardly a single wing beat. They transform the silent sky into part of the landscape itself. Standing before a canyon deeper than the height of the Empire State Building, you realize that the most striking sight is not the river below, but the tranquil sky where griffon vultures command every current of air. Yet the greatest story of the Uvac is not found in its cliffs or its river, but in the fragile balance between nature and humanity. Deep within the Kromlau forest, a stone bridge seems to have been built to deceive the eye. More than 150 years ago, basalt blocks formed a 65-foot arch, just long enough for its reflection to complete a perfect circle upon the lake's surface. Rakotzbrücke is approximately 115 feet long and was built between 1860 and 1875 entirely from basalt and fieldstone. Its scale is modest, yet the proportions of every stone were calculated with such precision that still water transforms the bridge into an almost flawless circle. Surrounding it, clusters of basalt columns rise like the pipes of a colossal organ, making the entire scene resemble a gateway to another world. During restoration work between 2018 and 2021, specialists discovered several bat colonies living within the bridge's stone crevices. The structure was reopened only after the bats had been safely relocated and protected, a reminder that even a masterpiece of stone can become a refuge for life. Few people know that this beauty came at the cost of 50,000 thalers and the life of the carpenter Trogad Walsh. Today, visitors are no longer allowed to walk across the bridge, leaving the masterpiece to exist solely as something meant to be admired from afar. Rakotzbrücke was not created to conquer distance. It was created to erase the boundary between reality and illusion in a single moment of reflection. Sometimes, a bridge leads nowhere at all. It simply carries the imagination farther than reality ever could. In the Icelandic highlands, Studlagil only truly emerged into the light when the water receded, revealing a landscape that had quietly waited for more than 2 million years. For most of its history, this canyon had never been seen in its entirety. The Jökull River once flowed through its heart, concealing enormous basalt columns formed as lava cooled millions of years ago. Only after the Kravika hydropower project lowered the water level by about 25 feet did the nearly 1,600-foot-long rock walls slowly emerge, as though the earth itself had just uncovered an ancient secret. The hexagonal basalt columns stand so tightly packed that they resemble the pipes of a colossal organ. While turquoise water winds through the narrow gaps, creating a landscape that seems almost otherworldly. From every angle, the canyon looks more like a structure built by human hands than a masterpiece sculpted by volcanic forces. In 2016, photographs by Einar Paul Svaversson introduced Studlagil to the world. Ironically, the very project that had sparked controversy for transforming a vast wilderness inadvertently revealed one of Iceland's most extraordinary landscapes. The stillness of Studlagil is only a fragile illusion. Beneath the surface, the current remains powerful enough to sweep away anyone who trades curiosity for a single careless step. Secrets are not created to be found. They simply wait for the moment when nature chooses to reveal them. From the valley below, Meteora looks like a city abandoned in the sky. More than 50 towering rock pillars lift tiled monasteries above the ground, while the foundation of this entire landscape began forming some 23 million years ago. Few people realize that these stone towers are only the exposed peaks of a colossal sedimentary formation reaching up to 13,000 feet thick, more than twice the average depth of the Grand Canyon. Each pillar rises about 650 feet, nearly matching the scale of Devil's Tower in Wyoming. Yet they were formed from layers of gravel, sand, and silt left behind by ancient rivers rather than volcanic rock. Up close, the cliffs reveal rounded pebbles seemingly suspended within the stone itself. They are the fossilized remains of an ancient riverbed and delta, preserved over millions of years. In 2024, that remarkable geological heritage was recognized by UNESCO when Meteora Pili was designated a global geopark. Beginning in the 14th century, monks used rope ladders and hanging nets to build 24 monasteries atop these nearly inaccessible rock summits. Today, only 6 continue to preserve their quiet existence suspended among the clouds. Meteora does more than lift humanity higher. It transforms the floor of an ancient sea into a sanctuary of faith, in a place where nothing should have been able to exist. Sometimes, the greatest wonders are not found on the ground, but quietly waiting between the sky and time. Every journey to Civita di Bagnoregio begins with a bridge leading into the past. Beyond the mist, the 2,500-year-old village rises atop a 650-foot volcanic rock plateau, suspended above constantly shifting, eroding cliffs. Built by the Etruscans around 500 BC, Civita was once far larger than it is today. Thousands of years of erosion have reduced the remaining land to just about 500 feet long and 300 feet wide. Surrounded by the Valle de Calanchia landscape reminiscent of Badlands National Park in South Dakota, where wind and water relentlessly carve the hillsides. Through the mist, the tough stone houses almost merge with the cliffs beneath them, making the village appear to be part of the hill itself rather than something built by human hands. The only way to reach it is by crossing a pedestrian bridge nearly 1,000 feet long, where many visitors feel overwhelmed as the abyss gradually opens beneath their feet. With only about 9 to 15 residents remaining, Civita continues to withstand more than 150 landslides recorded since 1373. Hillside protection measures, followed by a conservation fund established through entrance fees in 2013, have helped extend the village's survival. Beneath its quiet streets lies a landscape that continues to collapse, little by little. The most fragile part of Civita is not its walls, but the ground beneath them. The strangest thing is not that the village still exists. It is that people have never abandoned a place that is slowly disappearing. Oeschinen was not born from a river, but from the collapse of an entire mountain. Around 2,300 years ago, millions of rocks blocked the valley, leaving behind a lake resting at an elevation of 5,177 feet in the heart of the Alps. The landslide that created Oeschinen carried approximately 157 million cubic yards of rock and debris, more than 3 times the volume of the collapse that formed Crater Lake in Oregon. This enormous mass became a natural dam more than 200 feet thick, holding back water at an elevation nearly equal to that of Denver. The cliffs rising as high as 260 feet around the lake are the remaining scars of that catastrophe. Unlike most alpine lakes, Oeschinen has no surface outlet. Its water quietly seeps through millions of tons of rock beneath the lake, turning the entire mountain into a vast natural filtration system. On the lakebed, layers of sediment preserve a continuous record of the alpine climate dating back to around AD 750. Today, that peaceful landscape is monitored around the clock. A rock mass of roughly 26 million cubic yards above the lake is slowly shifting, prompting scientists to track it by satellite and develop debris flow protection systems to safeguard the village of Kanderstad. The most unsettling thing about Oeschinen is not beneath the water. It lies within an entire mountainside that continues to move, year after year. Every lake reflects the sky. Oeschinen also reflects the power of a mountain that has never truly fallen asleep. Mons Klint is a 70-million-year-old geological formation, lifted above sea level by massive glaciers only about 17,000 years ago. If Earth's history were compressed into a single year, the birth of this place would have occurred only seconds ago. The white chalk cliffs, rising more than 420 feet above the water, appear to emerge directly from the sea, but in reality they extend nearly 650 feet from the floor of the Baltic Sea to their highest point. Dark bands of flint winding through the white chalk reveal the folds and fractures that tectonic forces carved into the Earth's crust over millions of years. At the foot of the cliffs lies a fossil graveyard that continues to expand each time the waves wash away fresh layers of rock. In 2025, paleontologists confirmed the bones of a tiny pterosaur with a wingspan of less than 20 inches, while just 2 years earlier, a mosasaurus tooth from a marine predator measuring up to 56 feet in length was discovered on this very beach. And the story is far from over, because the cliffs continue to reveal new secrets with every passing year. Mons Klint has never stood still. After the 2024 landslide, the Forchhammer's Puen viewpoint disappeared completely, while the entire cliff line continues to retreat by about 20 inches each year under the quiet force of the Baltic Sea. Every piece of rock that falls does more than reshape the coastline. It continues the story of an Earth that has never stopped moving through time. Blue Grotto conceals a chamber 197 feet long behind an entrance less than 3 feet above sea level. Inside, the cavern is nearly the size of 2 NBA basketball courts, yet it can only be reached by lying flat inside a small boat. The light waits beyond the darkness. The light inside Blue Grotto does not enter through the cave's entrance, but through an opening submerged beneath the sea. As sunlight filters through the water, every shade of red disappears, leaving only an electric blue glow reflected across the rocky vault. The water shines from below, making the boat appear to float in an endless void. Yet these waters preserve a history deeper than their light. In 2023, divers recovered an obsidian block weighing nearly 18 pounds, crafted more than 5,000 years ago. The discovery revealed that the waters surrounding the cave once served as a Neolithic trade route, rather than merely a natural attraction. People have also changed the way they saw this place. Emperor Tiberius transformed the cave into a luxurious private retreat, while centuries later local residents avoided it, believing it was cursed. Only in 1826 was Blue Grotto rediscovered, eventually becoming the most iconic landmark on the island of Capri. To see Blue Grotto, you must bow before the cliff. To understand it, you must look beneath the water concealing thousands of years of history. Beneath its mesmerizing blue glow, the past and the light continue to meet in every silent ripple. Downpatrick Head stands above the Atlantic Ocean beside Doornbrist, a 350-million-year-old sea stack rising about 150 feet high and separated from the mainland by more than 260 feet. Its multicolored rock layers rise like a colossal geological cross-section carved into the coastline. The wind roars before the sea finds its voice. Perfectly stacked horizontal layers of limestone, sandstone, and shale turn Doornbrist into a vertical geological record standing in the middle of the ocean. Nearby, the Pol na Shantine blowhole erupts with towering columns of water and white spray whenever powerful waves surge into its chamber, creating the illusion of smoke rising from beneath the earth. In 1980, archaeologists landed by helicopter on the summit of the sea stack and discovered the remains of stone dwellings along with a sheep pathway. The findings confirmed that this isolated rock had once been connected to the mainland before a violent storm in 1393 tore it away from the coast. Today, the crossing viewing platform allows visitors to approach the cliff edge where countless tragedies have unfolded. A place where the roar of the waves and the echoes of history continue to exist side by side. A single stormy night erased the last path connecting Doornbrist to the mainland, leaving both people and history stranded upon a stone tower in the middle of the Atlantic. Downpatrick Head reminds us that the sea does more than shape the landscape, it never stops rewriting the boundaries of the land. Velika Planina stretches across approximately 2,600 acres at an elevation of nearly 5,000 feet, making it the largest alpine pasture in Slovenia and home to a shepherding community more than 500 years old. Wooden huts emerging through the clouds tell a rare story that is still alive today. The traditional bait huts, with their curved wooden roofs reaching almost to the ground, are scattered across the meadow like giant turtle shells. Each spring, millions of crocus flowers blanket the mountainside in purple, weaving between patches of melting snow and transforming the plateau into a landscape that exists for only a few fleeting weeks. Yet Velika Planina preserves evidence of human presence dating back thousands of years. Bronze axes and pottery discovered in Downpatrick cave prove that these highlands were already being used in prehistoric times, long before shepherds built the village that stands here today. In the winter of 1945, more than 100 huts were destroyed by fire, bringing the settlement to the brink of disappearance once again. Thanks to those determined to preserve it, the smoke rising from wood stoves and the sound of cowbells still echo across the Alps. On this limestone plateau, where no surface water flows, shepherds once carried snow from deep caves, waiting for it to melt into the water they needed to survive. Velika Planina proves that tradition does not always endure because of time, but because of the people who refuse to let it disappear. At first glance, Kravika appears to be a colossal wall of water stretching nearly 390 feet across, cascading about 90 feet into an emerald pool of almost the same width. But the real wonder lies beneath the surface. Every drop of falling water helps create new tufa stone, meaning the waterfall itself continues to grow over thousands of years. The entire curved cascade is covered with lush moss, algae, and lichens, making the rock beneath almost disappear beneath a living carpet of vegetation. That very layer of moss traps minerals carried by the flowing water, continuously building new tufa and expanding the edges of the falls over time, as though the landscape is quietly constructing itself. In spring, sunlight passes through the curtain of water, causing the emerald pool to glow. Cool mist fills the air, while the limestone caves surrounding the waterfall became the setting for a film in 1966 because of their remarkably untouched landscape. Once privately owned, Kravika now welcomes tens of thousands of visitors every summer. Despite the growing pressure from tourism, the mosque continues its silent work of building the waterfall, one layer at a time. The water does more than wear away stone. For thousands of years, together with the moss, it has been creating new rock, making Kravika a waterfall that is still growing. Sometimes, nature does more than create wonders, it patiently continues building them, day after day. Some cities were buried by time. Numera, however, was pulled by the earth itself to nearly 900 feet below sea level, 3 times deeper than Death Valley. After more than 4,500 years, its remains still lie within a landscape that has never stopped shifting. Wadi Numera, often called the Water Petra, is a canyon where rock walls curve like waves frozen in stone, constantly changing color beneath the sunlight. Over thousands of years, flowing water has quietly smoothed layer after layer of sandstone, while the streambed now lies about 160 feet lower than it did during the Bronze Age, as though the landscape itself is still evolving. Beneath those layers of earth archaeologists uncovered more than 200 storage structures along with ash deposits up to 16 inches thick. Within the ash remained carbonized grape clusters and wooden beams, revealing a community that once cultivated grapes, pressed flaxseed oil, and traded with neighboring settlements around the Dead Sea. Then everything came to an end after an earthquake around 2550 BC. Strangely, even while the town was still inhabited, its people carried their dead more than 8 miles to be buried with their ancestors, as though their true home had always been somewhere else. The earthquake was only the beginning of Numera's disappearance. Over the following millennia, the stream continued carving another 160 feet deeper, carrying away nearly half of Numera along with chapters of history that were never told. In one of the lowest places on Earth, Numera continues to emerge quietly from stone and ash, like a story still waiting to be finished. The world has always been far greater than anything humanity has ever seen, and nature continues to keep its stories for those who never stop exploring. Until the next journey.